Welcome to Stories I Didn't Tell Last Sunday. Hi, I'm Doug McAllister, your host and storyteller. This is the weekly podcast from Journey Fellowship Church. We are jf.church on the web, or you can download the Journey app from your app store with our compliments. Type in Journey Fellowship Church in the search bar and download it today. We are coming to you from the studio in the country, and thanks to my producer, Cade. Let's get into it. Stories I Didn't Tell Last Sunday, episode number 30. Today, the title of the story is The Harmonica Player. Most classic Christmas carols were written decades or even centuries ago, but this modern day Christmas classic was written as a poem in 1984 by an unknown singer-songwriter in Virginia for his home church's Christmas play, but the music wasn't written for it until 7 years later. Now, this song has been recorded by more than 500 separate artists, both secular and Christian, since 1984, the year that it was written. The very first artist to record this song was Michael English in his debut album in 1991. Even though it was released in January of that year, it became an instant Christmas classic. It has since been recorded over the years by artists like Dolly Parton, Pentatonix, CeeLo Green, Clay Aiken, Carrie Underwood, Jordan Smith, Cutlass, and 500 other artists. But probably the most well-known version that you've heard is by Kenny Rogers and Wynonna Judd. They had a huge hit with that song in 1997. And this song has been on the Billboard charts through the decades, and it has charted in nations around the world. It's an international Christmas classic, having reached platinum status on more than one occasion. This song was also used as the basis for a stage musical, which won the 1999 Gospel Music Association Dove Award for Musical of the Year. This song has touched the hearts of hundreds of millions of people in the last 30 years. And that's why I want to tell you the story of how it came to be. Pastor Tyler Scarlett in his blog recorded the story like this. He said in 1970, Thomas Road Baptist Church in Lynchburg, Virginia, began a Broadway-style Christmas program that for decades was known as the Living Christmas Tree. The choir at the church would stand like live Christmas ornaments in a tree-shaped loft, and they would fill the auditorium with the beautiful sounds of Christmas. Today, the program is known as the Virginia Christmas Spectacular. But way back in 1984, as preparations were being made for that year's Living Christmas Tree, Dr. Jerry Falwell asked one of his young church members to write the program that year. The virtually unknown singer-songwriter was none other than Mark Lowry. In his efforts to write a memorable Living Christmas Tree program, Lowry took popular Christmas carols and hymns and interspersed them with play-like dialogue in between. And while he was struggling to capture the wonder and amazement of that first Christmas, it was his mom, Bev, who gave him the spark of that original idea. In a casual conversation one day, she simply commented to Mark, "You know, Mark, if anyone knew that Jesus was virgin born, it would be his mother, Mary." And her silence at the cross is proof, I think, that her story was indeed true. Well, that simple observation from his own mother unleashed a torrent of questions and thoughts in Lowry's mind and about Jesus' mother. In his own words, Lowry remembers the song's beginnings like this. That year, in 1984, Lowry's reflections became the dialogue for Thomas Road Baptist Church Christmas program. And what started as a simple Christmas play was begging to become a song. There was only one piece missing: the music. Lowry spent years trying to track down the right notes to cradle his lyrical baby, to turn this poem into a song. And believe it or not, it was not until 7 years later that the lyrics found a musical home. By this time, Lowry was an up-and-coming musical star in the Christian world. And he pitched the lyrics to a gospel music songwriter named Buddy Green. Green was not only a great singer, but most well known as an expert harmonica player in the Southern gospel music scene. He had an ear for timeless tunes. According to Lowry, he shared the song idea with Green while they were riding cross country in a tour bus. He wrote the lyrics down on a piece of paper and he gave them to Green on that weekend. Monday morning, early, Lowry's phone rang, and it was Buddy. In just about 30 minutes' time, he had crafted a tune, which he sang to Mark over the phone, that fit the lyrics perfectly. As soon as he heard it, Lowry was hooked, and he began to make plans to produce the song. By this time, in 1991, Lowry was touring full-time with the Gaither Vocal Band, and he felt like the song was out of his range, but he had a singer in mind to record it, his friend, Michael English. English's debut album, which featured this song, had a seasonally unfortunate release date, as I mentioned, January 1st, after Christmas. Even though it made its appearance after the holidays, it became a Christmas classic. Now gone on to be recorded by more than 500 other artists. Well, for years, Lowry refused to sing the song publicly, thinking it was just out of his range and his comfort zone. However, one night during a Gaither concert in Detroit, an audience member yelled out, "Mark, sing your song." And Lowry kindly refused. "Well," he said, "I don't sing that song." To which the crowd responded with cheers and chants, encouraging him to try. So Lowry indulged the audience, and with an impromptu a cappella rendition, he sang it. And since then, Mark says, I've sung it every night. Well, you probably have already figured out the mystery. This song is Mary, Did You Know? It is an international Christmas classic, even though it's only about 30 years old. It's on my playlist. I listen to it quite often. In fact, I had it on repeat this morning, driving over to the studio, because one of the lines in that song always captures my imagination and pierces my heart. When the songwriter asks, "Mary, did you know that when you kissed your little baby, you kissed the face of God?" That line always leaves a catch in my throat to think of the wonder of the Almighty coming to earth as a little baby. One of the most well-known modern Christmas songs, Mary, Did You Know? And we owe it all to an unknown songwriter and a harmonica player. So today, thanks, Mark, and thanks, Buddy, for making us all ask the question, Mary, did you know? Well, that's the story I didn't tell last Sunday. For Journey Fellowship Church, I'm Doug McAllister.